This is one of my favourite camping spots, and today I have brought with me the Nortent Vern 1 to try out. Now, there's been a bit of controversy, shall we say, on social media and the internet regarding it. I think it looks a really good tent, and I wanted to try one and see what all the fuss was about. But I'm really going to discuss three aspects of it, and yeah, my thoughts overall come tomorrow. Now, I'm perched on a hill just above Rannoch Moor. It's a great spot for testing out a tent, just for a wild camp. Not too far to get to from the car, and I have been here loads and loads of times, both in the summer and winter. Now at the moment it's quite breezy, although it's 25 degrees, and that is actually ideal because the last time I was here, I think, was with the Hilleberg Soulo. There you go. Well, the tent didn't take long at all to put up, and there's lots of space. Really impressed. And yeah, it's a nice looking tent, got to be honest. Lots of features I do like, and a few I don't already. Now, I was checking the wind speed and it's gusting up to 16 miles per hour, roughly about 10, 12, yep, an occasional 16. Yeah, that's about as windy as I like camping in. Yeah, I'm a fair weather camper and certainly not a storm chaser, but I've had my moments when I've been out where I've been caught out and yeah, had to get through a bad night. There's some big gusts coming through and the tent is doing the funky chicken. Wow, what a way to end 2019. Yeah, hopefully I'll see 2020. I'm interested to see how it compares to the Hilleberg Soulo when I was up here, because I can't quite remember what wind speed that was. But the one thing I did notice, and it's just a fact with the Hilleberg Soulo, is that because it's so tight on every panel, it does make a lot of noise. It can be a noisy tent. I think everybody could agree on that. It's certainly strong and robust, without a doubt, but yeah, it can get a bit noisy. I think because these panels are a bit freer, yeah, it's going to be a little bit quieter. But yeah, quite impressed. One thing I will say though, which I'm not too sure on, is the Guyline material, these Guylines. What it reminds me of is that blue nylon rope you would get for a washing line. I would actually change that myself because I don't think it's particularly good. I did notice in a few videos where other people have been out in windy weather, you could see where these were starting to slacken off, and I think it's to do with the Guyline. Now, a few people on YouTube have mentioned about using a trekking pole to strengthen the end of the tent to stop it flexing in during bad weather. Now, I have had tents such as the MSR Access 2, which people have said does the same thing, that during stormy weather the end of the tent will bow in. It's never happened to me, and I've been out multiple times in bad weather with the MSR tents, and hasn't happened to me. It doesn't mean it won't happen or hasn't happened. It just hasn't happened to me. What I have seen is people recommending to tie off the walking pole and use that as an additional brace, which is a good idea. But the way they are showing is to have the handle down and the spike up like that, which to me is a rather, well, precarious idea, because if for any reason the handle slips, you've got the potential of this hitting the tent, hitting the fly sheet and damaging it. You've got a far stronger and more stable setup if you dig your point into the ground and then just use the handle. Then if for any reason it come loose, the handle is going to hit the fly sheet. So please don't have it point up, dearie me. Yeah, that makes me cringe, the thought of that. But anyway, an issue with this is that I don't think the Guyline is long enough to really brace it quite the way I would like, but yeah, we'll see what we can do here. Yeah, perfect. Okay, let's head over to the memorial plaque before I have something to eat. It's nice to come up here at least once a year and pay my respects and see what the condition of it is. I'll explain in a minute. So this is the memorial to Ronald Harvey, and yeah, I come up here every year, say hello, pay my respects. But he was a young chap who died at the age of 26 back in 1962, and he loved outdoors, much like many of us. And I did make a video a while ago now where I come up and gave the plaque a good clean. Nice to come up and say hello. And what a spot it is to have a memorial. Yeah, absolutely glorious, looking over Rannoch Moor. Yeah, smashing. But it's good to see that it's still in fairly good nick. Maybe next year I'll come up and give it a little bit of a polish again. Okay, let's head back to the tent. Wow, it's windy down at this bit. Something I was really keen on with the tent, and it's this big opening. As soon as I had seen reviews, I kind of knew that, yeah, this would be really, really cool for camping, especially when you're out in days like this, where you can just sit and just enjoy the whole panorama in front of you. The only other tent I had which was similar was my Geomid pyramid tent, where you could open up both doors and just sit out and, yeah, or just sit like this sheltered and admire the views. The other point I want to make is about the weight of the tent. I think the tent's coming in at 2.6 kilograms. I had a bit of a moment a few months ago when I was out camping, where I was in the Cairngorms and I had taken some footage of myself. And when I looked back at it, I was absolutely mortified, absolutely cringed, because I was actually growing a set of boobs. Unbelievable. I had put on that much weight. I hadn't really noticed until I seen that bit of footage where I'd put that much weight on. I was almost needing a training bra. And when I come back from our latest trip away to Harvey Moor, I decided to go on a major health kick. Yeah, I've been on a major diet or a lifestyle change. I'll maybe talk about it in another video at some point. But so far I was 95 kilograms and I have lost 6 kilograms in body fat. Now 6 kilograms in body fat is equivalent of 2 of these tents. Matter of fact, I think I was almost at 95 kilograms carrying 1.5, if not 2 times, all the gear I took on the Cape Wrath Trail. That's how overweight I had got. I think people are getting too hung up on going ultra lightweight all the time. And as I said, I'm hoping to lose maybe another 6 or 7 kilograms. Now, people who are really lightweight already and ultra fit and want a really lightweight system, then yeah, fair enough. But for average people such as me, just Joe Blogs, yeah, I could lose a lot more weight going on a diet than saving a few 100 grams here and there buying a lightweight tent. But that's just my personal opinion. I think you get the gist. I've tried everything just about and spent a fortune, but it's good to see companies such as Nortent coming out with things such as this. Really well made, it really is. I can't fault it. And yeah, it's fantastic for the money. I did actually check out of curiosity before I come up here the price of an MSR Access 1, which I've owned as well. And I'm sure it's about £20–40 more expensive than this. Okay, it's maybe lighter, but as I said, I would rather have this than the MSR Access 1, mainly due to its more robust build. The quality I think is actually a bit better. The space, yeah, I would just take the hit on the weight and, as I said, maybe lose a couple of pounds round the belly. But again, the Hilleberg Soulo is a proven and fantastic tent, but it's twice the price of this. And depending what you want to use the tent for, I get that. You know, is it worth twice the price? I'll let you decide on that one. Well, that's me, just had my supper, which was some pink salmon. I actually had to bring my big tin opener and fork. I don't know what I've done with my titanium spork. I've lost it. And yeah, between the fish and water, I've been mainly on the I've been 100% carnivore diet for over a month now. So every day it's just beef, you know, liver, eggs, butter, that kind of thing. Absolutely zero sugar, zero carbs. Matter of fact, nothing else other than just pure meat and a little bit of dairy and water. No tea, no coffee, nothing. And I absolutely feel fantastic, to be honest, and really losing weight. And I know people are going to say, oh, you're going to end up having a heart attack. Look, I've been eating crap for the last 50 odd years. Yeah, I don't think a few months on a carnivore diet is going to do any damage. To be honest, there's a lot to be said for it. And yeah, that's all I'm going to say. If you're interested in maybe trying it, do your research. But yeah, I think it could possibly reverse and help out with quite a few health issues. One of them being arthritis. I had arthritis in my thumb. I was struggling to go out my mountain bike because of it. Already it's clearing up and going away. And also I suffered badly from a stomach issue called diverticulitis. Basically it's inflammation, all the pockets in the lining of your bowels and intestines, and it was that bad. I went in and had an endoscope, and my bowels were that inflamed they couldn't even get the camera around. And since I've been on the diet, all my issues with that have also gone away completely. So I'm going to stick to this new diet for 3 months, absolutely 100% 3 months. Not going to slip, deviate or anything, and yeah, we'll see where we are after that. But I do have some cheese with me as well, because I can have a bit of dairy with that diet, so that will be my treat later on. No doubt I'll end up dreaming tonight because of it. For some reason, if I have a lot of cheese before bed, my God, I have some vivid dreams. We'll see what happens later. Well, what a spoon I am. There's actually 2 elasticated toggles for tying back the doors. Yeah, it's been a while since I watched any videos or review videos on this tent. So I just had it in my mind that you just hooked over the door. Don't know why, but anyway, yes. So you've also got these elasticated toggles, which is really handy, and it stops the flapping noise. Yeah, wowzers. This may be a small hill, but in the grand scheme of things, it's an absolutely fantastic vantage point. The views all round are just tremendous, absolutely amazing, and even more so during the winter. When the mountains are covered in snow, it's absolutely fantastic. And away in the distance, you might just make out some white buildings. That is the Bridge of Orchy Hotel. Just over the back here is the section of, or a section of the West Highland Way. People will walk through here, and as you go past the Blackmount Monroes and through the back over there, you end up at the Glencoe Ski Centre. And yeah, it's a long walk, that section. And if you get bad weather, my God, it's wild. If you ever decide to visit this hill for a camp, make sure you bring plenty of water with you. There's nothing up here. There's no streams, no ponds, nothing. So if you don't bring enough water, yeah, it'll be an interesting night. Well, I nearly fell asleep. I was dozing off there. Absolutely shattered. Now, when I was lying down, I noticed the mesh triangles just above your head, which is ideal for a head torch. So you've got easy access to it during the night. This time of year, you don't really need a head torch, but it's a handy place to have it. And I've got my phone at the side here. There's plenty of space in this tent. I've got an area, well, there's plenty of area for all my bags and bits of kit. Yeah, enjoying the tent so far, really am. But don't just take my word for it. I'm going to have to get out in this tent a little bit more and push it to its limits maybe. Yeah, just try it out in some more inclement weather. And what I would recommend is to watch other YouTube videos. I think I mentioned this already, but channels such as, is it MCM Outdoors? Yeah, Andrew Park and such likes. Get their view on the tent. Yeah, get reviews from multiple people, because although it's a good price tent for what it is, I believe, it's still a pretty big investment. So make sure that it does or you believe it does what you want it to do. You're happy with the weight of it, you're happy with the features, and yeah, maybe get some feedback from other people that have got one. Because in this day and age, the way things are in the world, and the price of everything going up, it's a big investment. But I would say that if you are planning on spending £900 or more on something like a Hilleberg Soulo, you could probably get one of these, a really good sleeping bag and a really good sleeping mat for the same money, or maybe even a bit less. So yeah, food for thought, just my opinions, and yeah, do your own research. Spend a bit of time looking into it. Don't just jump into it wildly or blindly. Wildly? Blindly. You know what I'm trying to say. Yeah. Just check out on YouTube, see what other people are saying, see if it fits your requirements, what you're after. But for the kind of camping I do, which is few and far between at the moment, yeah, I really like it. Glorious. Absolutely glorious. Yeah, what a spot. I keep saying that, but it really is. Now, something else I was going to talk about, which tags on to my last video, is my car, my Audi. I had nothing but problems with it. And last weekend, I ended up getting this knock from the back. And that was it. That was the straw that broke the camel's back after a year of non-stop repairs. I was like, I've had enough. So I went to a garage last weekend and I pick up my new car on Tuesday. Now, it's not a new car. God, I'm not that rich. But it's certainly newer and it's a Ford. But yeah, I chose it for some specific reasons and all will be revealed possibly in my next video. I'll talk to you all about it and why I decided to buy it and this particular model. I know it doesn't have a wet belt. Don't ever buy a Ford with the EcoBoost engine and the wet belt. Stay well clear of them. Anyway, yeah, new car, can't wait. And hopefully I can go away on trips like this and have many miles of trouble-free motoring. Well, that's the plan. Slept not too bad. I did toss and turn a little bit. I think I've got a leak, or a small leak, in my mat. But when I went to bed last night, I did leave this door open, or this winter cover, shall we say, the full fabric, and just had this mesh. And yeah, absolutely fine. Now, this is one of the things I do like about the tent, is you can open this as well, and because of the double zips, just peek out. There is a little bit of condensation on the inner, but nothing too much, which is expected. And yeah, again, I think I've said it a few times, the main features, or the main feature of this tent regarding this door and being able to just open up both sides, or look outside, yeah, I think it's excellent, ideal. But yeah, let's get out there and have a look, see what the morning has brung. But the wind has died right down, so I'm expecting the midges to be out. That could be a bit wild in a minute. I'm going to try and get through the last segment of footage before I get eaten alive by the midges and give you a lovely shot of the black mount behind. Now, my thoughts on the Vern 1. I think it's a really well-made tent. My only concern is the Guyline material. I think it should be Dyneema. I do have worries that this plastic line they've used may slip in wet and windy weather. Now, the rest of the tent, yeah, the fact you can open up the whole side of it like yesterday and just sit there or lie there and admire the views, fantastic. This morning, packing it away, they've also given you a big enough bag that you can get the tent into it, no problem at all. You're not trying to shoehorn it in like some other tents I've used. But as an all-year tent, yeah, I think it's pretty good. Now, what's it like in winter or stormy weather? I'm not sure. Others have tested that. I think the main concern for most is, one, the weight, and two, the potential of the ends maybe bowing in. But I don't think it's a major issue, to be honest. I think it's a bit overblown. Again, that is just my opinion. But I'm going to use the tent a few more times, and so far really enjoying it. Now, the weight, as I said earlier in my video, yeah, there's easier ways to lose weight. If I was going on a major long distance hike, I would take something like my Duo Mid, something that is ultralight but strong. Yeah, but for general camping like this, or just getting away once a month or every few weeks, yeah, I think it could be an ideal tent. And the price point, as I said, when you look at a tent such as the MSR Access 1, it's more expensive. Yes, it's about a kilogram lighter, or maybe even over a kilogram lighter. It doesn't have the features, and I have been caught out in that in storms that were unexpected, and I've had to brace the inside with a trekking pole for most of the night. Do your research. I think that's it, because I really can't bear the midges here. Yeah, that time of year in Scotland, it's horrific when the midges come out. But that's it for this one. I hope you've enjoyed it. A little bit of an overview and try of the Vern 1 tent from Nortent. I mean, they really are coming out with some really good, innovative tents, something a bit different. Yeah, certainly a company worth keeping an eye on. So that's it. I'm going to head home. Need to get that car back in one piece so I can trade it in, get my new car. But from the Black Mount, hope you've enjoyed the video and the scenery as well. And until the next time, folks, take care.